Hi guys, how you doing? I'm Doug Best. Welcome to the Doug Best Show. I'm sitting here with my main man, Mr. Aaron Foster, with the organization Advanced Peace. I was saying Advance the Peace, but it's Advanced Peace.
Yes.
We're here a couple of days before Christmas. I want to say Merry Christmas to everybody out there. Happy holidays, and we want to just keep the city safe, and we want to keep our family safe, and everybody want to have an enjoyable holiday. And I want everybody that's out there that's listening to us tonight. I need everybody to give me a birthday present and a Merry Christmas present. I need everybody to listen to us tonight. I need you to go to the Doug Best Show on YouTube and subscribe. We got Mr. Aaron Foster here with us, and he got an organization that helps the city tremendously. Black people, Mexican people, Asian people, white people, all kinds of people, all different kind of gangs, and stopping the violence. And then we're gonna chop it up. We were just talking earlier, and then we're gonna talk about a multitude of subjects, a multitude of things. You know, we hoping that somebody out there tune in with us and join the chat. You could comment here. We going live. You could just see it on your Facebook page. Aaron, you know, I want to introduce you, Mr. Aaron Foster from Advance the Peace. You can see it here on his chest. I'm finna put the camera on him. And Aaron, just introduce yourself to the people, and, you know, and feel right at home.
Well, I'm Aaron Foster. For people that don't know me, program manager for Advanced Peace. A lot of people had a misconception that I created the organization, and the organization was created in 2017, I believe, if not 17, 13, by a guy that's a genius that came up with 7 touch points that help reduce violence by giving individuals, because we don't have a cookie cutter approach, but it's aimed at individuals, giving them permission to dream, set goals, and we just help them accomplish goals that they come up with on their own so that they can own them, because people are different. There's no
Right.
one approach to helping people or mentoring or just giving hope to situations, because everyone is unique.
Right. Yeah, Aaron, you know, we were talking earlier, and I was asking you, man, what subjects are too personal? You said, man, I'm an open book. Ain't no such thing as nothing being too personal. And then, so what brought you to this point where you want to be uh, a big part of this program? What do they call you? Are you the chief executive officer? Are you the managing supervisor? Just explain it.
I'm just a program manager. I didn't even want to be that.
Okay.
I wanted to be the person working on the ground, but when I didn't have reins, people that didn't understand our community
Mm-hmm.
were moving in a way that wasn't conducive or really didn't understand the landscape.
Okay.
So we needed somebody in charge of this program that knew Fresno. Fresno is unique. It's not the Bay, it's not LA, it's Fresno.
Right.
So if you haven't been here for 30 years or better, you don't understand Fresno.
Right.
And Fresno is a place where you just don't come and move at your own free will. You got to understand the rules and regulations of this city.
Right. Yeah, and just pull the microphone just to you a little bit. I can see that it's modulating. I can see the numbers here. Yeah, so Aaron, could you just break down exactly what is advanced peace? I know it's involving gangs, stopping the violence, the police department, the community. Just break it down for us.
Well, Advanced Pieces is only aimed at the most violent individuals in our city. We want to give them alternatives to gun violence. And we aim to mentor people who normally settle disputes with guns.
Right.
And that's the whole thing. I mean, there's a landscape that's attached to it. So you have law enforcement, city government, all of those things. That's just part of the city.
Right.
But we concentrate on the people that don't have a voice in that dynamic. So law enforcement has a way that they deal with things, and that's through arrest and incarceration. City has a way of dealing with things through politics, and they go through the political landscape, and that shifts according to who's ever in charge.
Right.
So if you get a new mayor or a new president, laws change. With Advanced Peace, Fresno Advanced Peace, we push legislation and we help pass bills and laws, because it's not just one portion of Advanced Peace. We deal with time done as well.
Mm-hmm.
And that helped us, like with Prop 47, SB 731. Prop 47 is the thing that turned minor crimes into misdemeanors, when people were going to jail for paraphernalia or small amounts of cocaine, petty theft.
Mm-hmm.
They don't go to the prison for that anymore, where they wasn't. Now Prop 36 came and smothered 47, so now you'll start seeing mass incarceration again, just to say the least. SB 731 is the thing that turned automatic expungements. So after 4 years, just if you haven't got a new charge, your record is supposed to be automatically expunged. But they say because it's so backed up, a lot of people have to petition for expungement.
Mm-hmm.
But Time Done, which is a tool that we use at Advanced Peace, we can get the records expunged through them.
Right.
So it's a lot of layers to it because the need is big. And we concentrate more on the solution because we understand the problem. Everyone that works for Advanced Peace was part of the violence in Fresno at one point of our lives.
Right. Right.
So we understand what it takes to make those decisions.
Right.
And we looking and dealing with the people who we see ourselves in.
Right.
We knew what it took to make us challenged enough to say forget it and just go on one.
Yeah. Aaron, so I seen when I went to your office downtown, I seen a picture. It's almost a portrait sitting on the desk. I seen 12 people in there. And so is it predominantly black? Is it predominantly Hispanic? Predominantly white? Predominantly Asian? Or you just got a cross section of everybody?
In the very beginning, this was a black program.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know what the intent was. I believe that they gave us an unachievable goal from their perception.
Mm-hmm.
They thought that this would never work.
Right.
At the time, we had 74 more murders when we got the opportunity to exercise the strategy. Now we're down to 35 murders.
Right.
Because it worked. So
citywide or just in West Fresno?
Citywide.
Citywide. Okay, beautiful.
Citywide. So the thing was, the smallest population was committing the majority of the gun crimes.
Right.
And that was the black population. And It was happening predominantly in Southwest Fresno, Northwest Fresno, Fairmont area, West Side.
That's my son is over there. My nephew's been staying over there on Fairmont for 10, 12 years over there. But they straight now. They working. They got a straight to the bag program where they sell streetwear clothes, paper. If you guys listen to us out there, you guys doing a great job, man. But go ahead, Aaron. I cut you off. My wife's home. I got to be careful with that. Interrupted.
No, we having a conversation, man, between two people that understand the dynamics. Mm-hmm. So that's what it was. So we were only supposed to deal with black youth, black people, period.
Mm-hmm.
And again, with the dynamics being the smallest population committing the majority of the gun crimes, it seemed like that would be impossible for us to make a big dent. But tragedy happened. You know, that's how we got here. And people, no matter how hard you is, when you see a baby, man, if you don't smile, then you a demon. I don't know nobody that can look at a baby without cracking a smile.
Mm-hmm.
And people that don't understand the culture, they don't understand that we commit gun crimes because of love, not because of hate.
Mm-hmm.
So
break that down.
I've been friends with this man since preschool, and now he's dead at the hands of a gun. My love for him saying, I won't let you die in vain. So I'm going to do something to avenge you as often as I can while I can, because my life is on the line at this moment too. Who's to say I'm going to make it to next year?
Mm-hmm.
So we just kept running and running until we either went to jail or hell. That's just it. But I love you enough to go to hell for you, bro. And that's the culture. So that's the love that we knew how to show, or we were taught to show.
That's the game mindset. Is that what you're saying?
Absolutely.
Right.
Absolutely. I mean, it's hard to bury your friend when you don't even know how to deal with that emotion or the loss.
Right.
So one of the great things about Advanced Peace is we have a licensed clinician that give us the stages of mourning,
mm-hmm.
and it's 5 of them.
Mm-hmm.
But if you don't understand what they are, you'll think you're going crazy if you can think about your friend that's dead and you're in denial, great memory, and you smiling, and 2 seconds later you back crying and angry before you understand that you got to accept that he's really dead. This ain't a dream.
Right.
You know, so we just had a lecture the other day when you're on the crime scene and that person is screaming no. That's because he ain't willing to accept the fact that this is really happening.
Over on Sampson, did you go over there?
I wasn't there. Rod Wade was on scene.
I love Rod, man. Rod is a straight shooter, man. I'll vouch for Rod.
I think that you and the majority of the people that's ever come in contact with Rod You have to vouch for him because what you see is what you get. Yeah, he that way in his sleep. I think Rod pushed the line in his dreams. You know what I mean? That's just who he is. And you have to appreciate Rod because he only know how to move one way.
Right. I got that. Yeah, Aaron, man, you know, it's a beautiful thing here, man. I've been here my whole life, you know, and I grew up in Bigbyville, you know, with Keith and then Randy. But man, you never really got the opportunity to sit down and talk like we talking right now. We having a conversation, but we having a conversation. We hoping we got some people out there that's chiming in and listening to us on Facebook Live. Man, this is beautiful. And me and you were talking earlier about how we could tell that, you know, our mindsets are similar. And yet we never had the opportunity to sit down and talk. And I was telling you earlier about, man, what I done learned from I've been in this life a long time on all the different stratospheres of the life. But I was telling Aaron, and that's just, and I mean this from my heart, man. And I think me and Mike Hughes talked about this a little bit the other day. If you could ever find out what your giftings are in life and accept the fact that, you know, that you got to have some rules in your life and in society, things would be way more better. Because when they seen Kobe Bryant, somebody spotted his gifts. And when they seen Mike Tyson, somebody spotted his gifts early, even though he may not have seen them. When somebody seen Martin Luther King, somebody spotted his gifts. And then when somebody seen Malcolm X, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad spotted his gifts. But some of us, if we could ever spot our gifts and find out what they are, man, life would be so much easier. Then the money would be just a byproduct. That's what we usually do. We usually out in the streets acting a fool because we chasing money. But once you find your giftings, the money become way more easy. You still got to put in the work. You still got to put in the discipline. But that's a byproduct of just finding what your giftings are. Yeah, Aaron, you're doing a hell of a thing. And then one other thing, too, I was asking you about.
I want to speak to that because we spoke about it and we said the same thing a different way. You call it a gift, and I call it a purpose.
Purpose.
Right. So once you understand what your purpose is, the money becomes your least valuable asset.
Least valuable.
Right, because your purpose is going to outshine all of it. And that's the thing. It took you several years to figure out what
Decades.
that was. Decades. So it took me hardship to figure out my purpose. You know, losing my son and my daughter is the only reason I'm sitting on your platform right now.
And I love you for that. Then Aaron, also, man, could you articulate how money is good, but the most valuable commodity that I don't know if I got the ability to make people understand is time.
Absolutely.
Time.
If it wasn't valuable, they wouldn't say you have to spend it. You have to spend time. And I had to learn that the hard way as well because I thought as long as I had money that my children would be okay. But the thing that is more valuable than money is time because all of those lessons, those values, the integrity, honor, all of those things come from time. You can't tell people how to appreciate those things. You have to show them and teach them through your examples of what that really means. And I mean, it's just, if you say honor to the average person that don't have that in his value system or his moral compass ain't pointing in that direction, then it's just a word.
Just a word.
But honor is something that you'll die for once you understand your purpose.
Right. It's like I see we got a few people chiming in. I see my Senorita says hola, and I see Joseph Boyd says 100, and I see Tina Greathouse says hello, I'm here, and Joseph Boyd said time is the essence of everything. Time is the essence of everything. And then we sitting here right now, a few days before Christmas, and this is fitting that we here. We were outside right before we started the podcast. Two dudes is fighting in the middle of the street. Usually we don't have no problems on this side of the street. Everybody already know, man, this ain't, you could go across the street, I ain't got nothing, but once you come over here, oh, this is my stuff. We don't usually have no problems, but they was in the middle of the road. But look how God did that. A fight right in the middle, and we hear about advancing the peace. Man. Yeah, and so could you just break down just a little more about when I talked to Trina Dixon the other day. Actually, she was texting me and she was talking about how your organization they got X amount of dollars, and a lot of people out there, I think they seen it on Channel 30 or Eyewitness News or something. Could you break that down? And the 12 people that work in your office, you was explaining to me, they get a livable wage.
And we give them a livable wage.
And a livable wage mean what? They actually got a job where, they don't have to be worried about going get no food stamps, no welfare. They don't have to play no games. No. They can live off of it and take care of their family.
Yeah, starting in like first year, make like 19 before the minimum wage went up 19. So now our livable wage is over $20 an hour starting pay because of the inflation and all of those things.
So benefits, do they got the benefits?
Absolute benefits.
Medical.
This is a job. If I had it my way, they would start at 32 hours because everyone that works for Advanced Peace doesn't work 8 hours a day. We get paid for 8 hours a day, but if something happens at 8 o'clock in the morning, one of our fellows is hungry, need a ride, we give intensive care to the most lethal people in our city. The most, I won't say at risk, but the most likely to commit gun crimes. Are the people that we engage with daily.
What about the Asians?
We have one Asian guy. So predominantly black because of funding, but if I had it my way, this would be the go-to, the gun violence reduction strategy for the entire city of Fresno.
And what about the Mexicans?
We started, that was the first branch off was to our Hispanic community.
Okay.
I met a guy named Speedy, just came home from doing 24 years. Mm-hmm. Advanced Peace hadn't even been passed through the city of Fresno yet. And he jumped in and was dedicated from day one and helped put out a fire, man, that would have burnt the city down. One time, do you remember the vendor had got killed? I think it was on Lane.
I remember that.
The guy was black that killed him. But the narrative was put out that the blacks were exploiting the Hispanics.
Right.
And, everybody going to stand in their own corner and defend their own people.
Right.
But that was a misconception and an outright lie. The guy definitely was black, half black, looked black like you and I, but he was from a Mexican gang out of Los Angeles.
Man, I'm just looking in right here. It says, Big Oswald Hopkins, he's in Phoenix, Arizona. He says, good show, chopping it up, man. This is what the Doug Best Show is all about, man. I was telling Aaron that, man, when I come on here, I'm doing it out of passion. Some ladies the other day says, Doug, you always bragging and boasting all the time. I'm confident. And then if I do brag and boast, I'm not doing it because I'm not doing it because I'm conceited or nothing. I'm probably just talking about my life experiences. And then what me and Aaron just sitting here, man, just talking about, it's crazy, man, that I got to be careful what I say. I was one of them, man.
All of us. I mean,
I'm talking about one of just a nut, a crazy man.
Your reputation precedes you, to say the least. But I want to go back to Alfredo, Speedy. Speedy stood up, let his people know that ain't what happened. Like, dude is black.
And he was well respected, or is well respected. Speedy.
Is well respected. Did 24 years for a double murder. Came home and wanted to right all his wrongs, man, and dedicated to doing such. Between a Hispanic population, man, they have over 50 years of incarceration between 3 people. So we picked those people and we wanted them to bring those politics and that accountability home with them.
And they got integrity.
Absolutely. Absolutely. The whole team has it. Like, we hold each other accountable.
Right.
You can't come in there with none of that. And there's no separation. It's not like all of the resources belong to all of us because we all need it.
Right.
So when we come in here, man, we establish a brotherhood that would be frowned on in any other space. But with us, it's working, and we're going to continue to hold ourselves that. So if I'm out of line, one of our Hispanic brothers going to come in there, and I'm supposed to be the top of the program. Sit down. You're supposed to do X, Y, Z. When is it going to get done?
Right.
So this whole mentality of everybody in there is in charge because somebody going to die if we don't do our job.
Right. It's beautiful. Yeah, and I was away, Aaron. I was away, on the other side of the world. But what I did notice that if you got integrity and you really got integrity, it could be, I was in the federal penitentiary. And then if something went wrong and you got integrity and then a Mexican guy that that could create a fire in a penitentiary. But if I went there and you went there and both of us had integrity, we could stop that. The warden couldn't even do that. And them people inside them institutions, they know who them people are. And sometimes, they would have to lean on us. And then, so my point is, if the people that run the bureaucracies, the police department, or the chief of police, or the mayor, or whatever, sometimes they have to come to you or your organization. I asked you this earlier because somebody asked him, man, are you going to ask him? Yeah, Aaron, just explain to us how you stay right there in the middle where you don't get sidetracked I'm trying to articulate it correctly.
Let's just call it what it really is, man. You have to not be a rat.
Yeah.
Just period.
I don't want to say it like that.
Hey, man, we on
the Thedougbessshow, baby.
Show.
Uh-huh.
You just explained advanced peace in a way that I couldn't.
Mm-hmm.
When you was in the joint, it was some people that can have a voice. We can burn this thing down.
We could.
Or we can cool it off.
Mm-hmm.
We hired the people who are next to the people that can burn this thing down. They can go and have a conversation with the sides. So communication was the thing that kept the wars from happening when you was in the feds, right?
Yeah.
We can communicate. But with the warden, that integral piece had to be there. And you had to stand on your side just to keep your name.
Mm-hmm.
My name means more to me than anything because there's honor attached to it.
Right.
And it would be so dishonorable for me to go against this dynamic because my babies died for me to have this platform.
Right.
So that's going to keep me where I'm supposed to be. I don't have to worry about telling on somebody because what's the reward?
There ain't no reward.
No, the reward is me losing my credibility.
Right.
And if money is my least valuable commodity, then what can they offer me for my integrity?
Yeah, I asked my main man, Mike Hughes, he was on the show a little while ago, and I said, he says, man, Doug, I don't really want to touch that, man. Just ask Aaron. You know Mike.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, so we got past that right there, man. So
no, I like to elaborate on it because I'm going to always say, because that's going to happen. Because we have such distrust for law enforcement, I'm the voice for my team. My team don't want to go in there and talk to the police. Like, you go do that. And when I come out, it's this. This is what's happening, man. This is what we gonna do. That's what they gonna do. And what it turns out is they stay over there, we stay over here. This ain't, advanced peace is not an asylum. If you do something to get pinched, you're going down. And nothing we can do about it.
Yeah, I had read somewhere where, and then I'm gonna try to draw it in where I guess a few guys was still outside, but then they was working with your program and they tarnished the image.
And again,
with the money too.
That was we lost funding, but we kept our guy. The guy that got arrested for that, we didn't turn our back on him. We stood with him every court date because in our eyes, he didn't do nothing wrong. This whole thing was because allegedly he gave somebody some information that would go against law enforcement. But in reality, how can he give information that he didn't have?
Right.
So it was said that we gave privileged information. It's impossible for that to happen. We don't receive privileged information.
Right.
So that was glitz and glamour, but at the end of the day, he didn't go to prison because he didn't do anything.
Correct.
So I always question the evidence, man. And I got that from the OJ trial.
Right.
You know, he was accused of a bunch of stuff.
Right.
But at the end of the day, that was it. I mean, that was probably a horrible analogy for political reasons, but at the end of the day, our community, I can speak for our entire team. This community means more to us than anything. And we risk our lives on several occasions to ensure that somebody don't have to bury a child. The only reason that I do this work is so that I can say that I did everything in my power to keep somebody from burying a baby, because I know the pain of having to bury them. I buried 2. So if I can bury 2, my whole campaign when I was trying to get this thing moving was to talk to the most lethal people I know and say, man, if I bury 2 children, there's a strong possibility that you might bury 1. And what can we do to avoid that from happening?
That's beautiful right there. And if anybody out there sometimes I be befuddled and dumbfounded. I be saying, hey man, I'm putting my all in. Aaron is putting his all in this platform, trying to get the information out to the people. And I be just wondering, hey man, why we ain't got hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and thousands of people just tuning in and listening to us? But I guess we gotta go just one brick at a time to build a wall.
And it was that with the support of Advanced Peace in the very beginning.
Oh, Joby said my guy, Big Joby Jones.
Yeah, Joby gave me my first. He pulled me into this.
Right.
I got to give Joby his flowers, man. Joby is the person that gave me my first opportunity to do something positive in this city.
Great. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he pulled me in, and I was still going through it, man. I'm still hustling the whole nine. And he was like, hey, bro, people need to hear what you got to say.
Mm-hmm.
I need you to come down here, man, and tell your story. I think Marcel was the second one. The first podcast.
Which Marcel?
Marcel Woodruff was the first podcast that I ever went on.
Mm-hmm.
And he's still
I'm happy
around
you're
today.
here, man. Joby, man, this is a public plea, man. Come get on the show, pimping. I mean, I can't call you a preacher.
Yeah. No, yeah. But Joby is different, man. He is a preacher because he brings the word, but he boots on the ground.
Mm-hmm.
That's the thing. This is my measurement of anybody that's genuine. If you'll do this work free,
right,
then that's what it is.
Right.
Now, there's funding attached to it, but if you can't receive it and you'll still do the work, then let's go. Because we did this work for a while before these opportunities presented themselves.
It's beautiful here, man. I'm thinking last night I was texting Joby, and it might have been the night before something. Everybody got different giftings. This your gifting. And I was saying earlier when we first got on the show, man, and then Oswald and Joby and anybody else that's lived sometime in life, man, if you could find your gifting early in life, man, life becomes so much less complicated because now everything that you're doing it out of passion. You're doing it for money. You're going to get the money out of it. Ain't nothing wrong with getting paid.
Yeah, I got a question for you, man,
Mm-hmm.
so that the listeners understand the balance.
Mm-hmm.
So when you was in the federal penitentiary and your rep had to speak to the warden just to get the dynamics of what the issues were,
Right.
how was that looked at?
A couple of kind of ways. Sometimes at first I was rebellious. I went to prison and I had a problem with authority complex. But the warden gave me a job. I'm in the federal penitentiary because I'm always going to the hole because I figured I'm fighting for something. The warden gave me a job. Me and Chico worked in the business office. And, we still was doing, little odds and ends with the copies or whatever. But the warden gave me a job. So, and what happens when you work for the warden is you got access to them because, you his clerk and they trust you with the passwords. You're doing the warden's job. All the footwork, the warden trusting you on the computer. And sometimes you could be the shot caller on the yard, black, white, Crip, blood, or whatever, but you ain't got access to the warden. So by being in that position, it allows you an opportunity to squash certain things. And it could be a CO in a particular part or whatever doing certain things. And then you could go through that normal appeal process writing him up. But if I'm working for the warden and the warden trusts my judgment and the guys trust my judgment, it gave me the ability to squash things from time to time. I'm not sure if I explained it the way you wanted it.
You said it in a way.
But you got to be real careful with that because what happened, because you don't want the people to think that, you're a butt kisser for the warden and then, but when you're working in them positions right there, it's like a real delicate line that you got to walk.
You better not cross it. So here's the thing with me. In the very beginning, we were trying to get Advanced Peace passed. We had Chief Dyer was the chief, and he gave us like the blessing to come to Fresno.
Yeah,
so
the Honorable Jerry Dyer, the mayor now. I went to his church, New Covenant.
So without him and his accepting Advanced Peace, because he knew that fine line that we could do things that law enforcement couldn't do. So that was it. But Now that he's mayor, he still have to keep his political stance, and I respect it. I respect him as a person, but he never ever asked me to. He never challenged my integrity.
Right.
The person that I deal with in law enforcement, he doesn't challenge my integrity.
Was that because of just? I know. Was that because of the position that your brother had, or you got that from your personal interactions with them?
So Keith is my uncle. No, I believe that I earned everything because I was resilient.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I got told no. I knew what I was doing as far as who I was doing it for and why I was doing it.
Mm-hmm.
So I wasn't going away. I'm still coming. And tell me no, I'm still coming. I never gave up on this opportunity. And that's just what I wanted to have. Something. So in the very beginning, I'm green, man. I don't know nothing. I'm fresh off the streets. I started calling myself the person that was the voice of the people without a voice. So I could make it in there. I met Oliver Baines through a guy named Christian Flemings.
Yeah, I was asking about Oliver Baines. We went to Nick Richardson's campaign. He ran for District 6 City Councilman. He won. And I seen Baines out there, and man, I'm like, I'm trying to get him on the show, but then I was thinking in my mind, he never came on the show, but then I was thinking in my mind, maybe he don't know me, and my past probably, I wasn't a nice guy out there, and he might think that, I'm straight now, man. Yeah. Baines, if you're out there listening, baby, I'm straight, man. I'm straight now.
So the thing was, Baines gave me political education. So I didn't know
he's a
it.
police officer and he's a city councilman twice.
Right.
Twice, and okay.
So what he did was he told me all of the steps I had to take. And he showed me what a power wheel was. Like, you should know every council member in your city, every district. Because if you can count to 5, you can get things passed. I didn't know nothing about that. I thought all I had to do was go in there and protest. Protests get waited out. That's the counterpunch to a protest. Just wait. Put you off for 6 months. 6 months, we usually run out of gas. It took us 3 years to get advanced peace passed.
Right.
Yeah, that's just not giving up.
So it's relationships.
If you don't have a relationship, you don't exist. They're only people like you and I.
Mm-hmm.
I came on your show because I know of your legacy and who you were.
Man, I love you for that too, man. And then what happened right there too, Aaron, you came on the show because you respect me from being on the outside. But when I go down there to City Hall, my legacy, it seems like to be like a cutting-edge sword to make the people, I'm not sure what word to use, where they be reluctant to interact. They know I got good sense, and they know I got plenty of money, because they know all that already. But I think what I need to work on is work with Nick Richardson coming here and being on the show. That was a beautiful thing. And he said, I might get some flack from the other end of town, but I'm going to do it anyway. He came and did it. Yeah, so as I'm sitting there and listening to you, and I see what I need to do is work on the relationships.
Absolutely. We talked about Butterfield. People give me such a headache because I be like, I like Butterfield. How could you like Butterfield? I like Butterfield because he's honest. He gonna tell you no. Like, nah, I ain't supporting that. And then we can negotiate on what does it take for you to negotiate it. He was hell-bent, no on advanced peace. We're not gonna pay gang members to be nice. So the only way that he gonna vote yes, take away the stipends. Don't pay the stipends out of city money, and then I'll give you a shot.
Okay, explain the stipends, though.
Stipends are things that they have to earn. So they had a conception that we were paying gang members to be nice. Like, nah, it's a life map allowance. So you have to accomplish milestones that you set for yourself.
Right.
If you say, I want to go to school to be an architect, and you haven't even enrolled in school, take a math class or nothing, you ain't getting nothing.
Right.
But if you know that you ain't good at math and you're getting a tutor and taking all your prerequisites, we're going to give you some incentive to keep going.
Right.
And that's what it is. And you can't get it for 6 months. It's a 6-month vetting process.
Right.
So if you just sit on your thumbs for 6 months, then that's what you're going to get. But for the people who are actually trying to make change,
right,
we give them incentive.
Right.
And we have a list of things that you have to do to even accomplish it.
Right.
Yeah, this ain't willy-nilly. This really pretty much the game. If you don't earn it, you don't get it.
Right, I can see that. So, Aaron, with the Advanced Peace Program, so you got a core group yourself at the Apex, and then you got 12 people of different races trying. How do you guys know when it's a fire if you're not outside?
We have to be outside.
Oh,
We smell like sheep, man. We great shepherds.
yeah.
We are dealing with the people who are most likely to engage in violence.
So being outside, it's got two components to it. I'm trying to articulate it for somebody like my senorita in there might not understand what outside is. I'm saying when you outside, you could be selling drugs, you shooting people, you doing whatever you do, you hustling out there.
Mm-hmm.
But so if Rod is outside, he's not outside participating in the mayhem and the ruckus. He's outside, just how would I explain that though?
So Rod is outside. He kept all of his relationships with people who haven't made the U-turn, right? So we're not turning people away from the church. We tell them, come as you are. If you have whatever vice that you have,
Right.
keep it. Don't harm nobody. Our main focus is to keep people from shooting guns.
Right.
That's it. And showing them that we have several resources if you want to change.
Right.
But at your own pace. We're not twisting your arm, preaching to you every day. You're going to see the change in us.
Right.
And it's great for me because now I know I'm not going to the federal penitentiary. I love getting up and going to work.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love being able to have a conversation. That stress of getting pulled over and going to prison, that's
Right.
the biggest relief of having this job.
Yeah. I'm with you 100% right there. I want to roll over with my senorita and play with my cats, eat some breakfast in bed, then come down here and be on the Thedougbessshow. Everybody that's out there, man, go tell somebody to get in front of the phone or the TV or the computer. Man, let's chop it up. I see Sandra Yates says thank you, and Sandra Yates says tell Aaron I'm on. Gwen Lowe says hi. Tina Greyhouse says I love the show. Yeah, I see, and I'm just going through a couple of things here real fast, Aaron, so let you know we got some people tuning in.
Yeah, so our outside have two different definitions. When we outside, we just available, man. We want to be present.
Right.
Yeah, we want to be people to see us and see what change looks like. We have to be that example.
Right.
I mean, it's one thing to tell people. We're going to show people.
Right.
I think the person that I'm most, we talked about Syrup the other day. Syrup used to work for Advanced Peace.
Yeah, but I don't really know him that well, so I'm going to tell you what happened. So I go to Reverend Chester, Reverend Regan's church, St. Rest. DJ, the preacher over there, and his father was there. We just outside, just playing around. You know as DJ Daddy is. He got a sense of humor. And he says, this the one you're supposed to have on your show. I don't know this man. And he says, this is Serp. This young man is Serp. I said, what kind of name is Serp? I'm just playing. But later on, I learned that, he's a nice young man. He's got integrity, but he never came on the show as of yet. I didn't ever pursue it that much.
Given the opportunity, I believe he'll show up. I think that he started, I get on his nerves to this day because I'm still like the person that I am, but we help cultivate him in a way that he's confident in his work.
He was well respected in that church. I was watching him.
Everywhere he go. So I went and grabbed him on purpose. I got on his nerves and got him in the building, and a lot of our success came from him. He had a studio program, and a lot of our lethal men were a part of it or connected to it in some type of way. So we got a chance to put out a lot of fires through him.
Yeah, so explain lethal men. Lethal means somebody died with that pistol.
Absolutely.
Shooting that magnum.
So with him, just to make a long story short, he had this thing where he would interview the people that come to the studio, and they would talk about themselves as they were. And after coming to the studio for a few months, he would interview them again, and you would see the difference from that first conversation to some months with dealing with Advanced Peace. Unfortunately, I would say 4 people that he interviewed in 1 year died.
Right.
And that's the horrible part of this work. We know that somebody's going to die every year that we love.
Right.
Somebody that we deal with directly because that's the culture.
Right.
But he took that and he made good out of it, man. So now he's doing restorative justice for youth.
Right.
Helping them through the judicial system. And he's trying to frame it in a way that most of the time restorative justice comes post-conviction. He's trying to do it pre-conviction, that they never started with a criminal record that has to be expunged at all. So he's making a big difference, and I appreciate it.
Yeah, that's beautiful. And then I think the program that Mike has, that's post conviction. Mike Hughes.
No, that's when you have a conviction at all. That's another Oliver Baines strategy.
Oh my God, man! I'm looking at Oliver. Oliver, where you at, man?
So
I didn't know Oliver was involved in all.
man,
I don't really know him, other than just from the distance, seeing people from a distance, just like he don't know me. And
no,
then now,
Oliver got some good game, man. He gave me that opportunity that Mike has. I'm talking about I'm crushed. I'm hurting at the time. He said that you can get 15 people in. I'm like, yeah, I can get 15 people in. Got 15 people in, man. The opportunity. These all gang
15
members
people in to do what though?
to go through this training, this vocational training, and as soon as they finish, they are certified and ready to work in the unions.
Okay.
So we're gonna get them careers. That was
carpentry, roofing, plumbing, electrical, those kind of things.
Yeah, so we go into the laborers union. 13 out of the 15 graduated.
Okay.
The 2 that didn't graduate died, unfortunately. So they passed away, and two of them out of the 15 both got 30 years, more than 30 years apiece. They fighting to get home today. But that opportunity, and this was the first portion of having rivals. So this wasn't just people that got along. These people that don't get along in this class, learning, being tutored, and getting ready to have a career.
That's beautiful.
And the success was 13 out of 15, my first opportunity from Oliver Baines. And that was like, sit down, have a conversation. If you can do it, let's see. And gave me the opportunity, and we successfully graduated these young men.
Man, shout out to Oliver Baines, man. Oliver Baines, is a former police officer. He's a city councilman for 2 terms, and I'm not sure what he's doing right now. But I see somebody on the computer saying, Doug, make sure you invite people to subscribe during your live video. Everybody out there, I need a birthday present. My birthday is January the 6th. Christmas coming up. I need everybody that's watching the Doug Best Show, any friends you got, I need you guys to go to YouTube and just subscribe. Just type in the Doug Best Show, and then there's gonna be a little icon or something gonna pop up, and all you gotta do is subscribe. And then we sitting here now with Mr. Aaron Foster, and we having a discussion. We just chopping it up. This is what the Doug Best Show is all about.
I think that outside of that, we were talking about entrepreneurship.
I'm an expert in entrepreneurship.
Right. And I think that's one of your gifts and a part of your purpose, because statistically, business owners are less likely to commit gun crimes.
Oh, is that right?
I mean, how many you know?
Yeah, you're probably 100% right, because you focus on whatever you're doing. Entrepreneurship. My son, he so fresh and narrow, he got a streetwear code. He's in LA now. He's probably coming back. He went down there to get inventory for Christmas gifts that he's selling. He sell these sweatshirts. He sell jackets. He sell shoes. He sell hats. And now that he's been focused on his business, entrepreneurship, he ain't got no time to be thinking about being a pimp. He ain't got, he's over on Fairmont every day, because, that's where all his cousins, that's where his aunties are staying at, the Mannings.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he's over there every day. But him and all his little cousins, all of them are selling streetwear now. So they focus on their business, and their business ain't pimping. Their business ain't selling drugs no more. Their business ain't shooting people. It's not that much shooting over on Fairmont now.
That's the biggest thing for me, man. And it's even bigger than that, because I like the social enterprise model, when you get 100 people to invest into a business. And I say that we have that opportunity every February. You have tax money that we spend on weed and wigs anyway. Mm-hmm. If we can just invest $1,000 collectively, we can come up with $1 million purchase, and in return, 100 people, into millionaires, because you understand that $1 million.
That's a leverage. Yeah. So if you got 100 people, and 100 people, you can create an S corporation.
Yes, sir.
And then so he's saying, if you got $100,000, you could leverage that $100,000 to $1 million. I think that's where you're going with it now.
But the thing about being a part of that S corp, that everybody that's a part of it becomes a millionaire, because that $1 million debt makes you a millionaire. And if you manage it right, you can use that for personal endeavors at a later time.
I could see that. I'll be a part of something like that.
I think that you should spearhead it. I should be, my purpose is gun violence reduction, and the people that have that education should use it to educate others, because
Right.
that's the each one teach one. And now we have opportunities to spend our money with each other. So if it's a Walgreens or anything that we frequent, we'll be the owners of it. That doesn't exist.
Right.
So that's the biggest portion of sustainability when it comes down to gun violence reduction,
Mm-hmm.
because now you have ownership,
Mm-hmm.
and people that own things are less likely to commit gun crimes.
I agree with that 100% because your focus transferred from doing something foolish
Mhm.
to something positive, and then you're gonna need your mental discipline to stay focused in order to keep that endeavor to keep going.
Right.
I
But
can see that.
you can do that every year, because February going to keep coming.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So with that ownership, it creates the changing of our culture, because again, we're the consumer.
Yeah, I'm interested in something like that. And I'll look at whatever you guys got and see how I could be an integral part of it. I think Joby talked about that the other night. Something about he was saying something about a toy giveaway. I said, man, I'll be involved in something like I could see giving back to the community, doing something positive. Even though I don't really like just giving nothing away because you're not teaching the people. Actually, you're creating when you give stuff away too much. What you do, you make people weak.
So instead of giving back, let's take it back, because your mother and your grandparents, they owned everything around them. They did business with people
Especially
who
my
owned
mama.
stuff. Right. We had markets, we had Best Market, we had our farmers that we would go out and buy fresh produce from every year. Everybody that's our age, the 50 years or older, sat next to your grandmother and you pick peas and
Oh my God.
that kind of stuff, right? That don't exist because
Shell the peas.
shell them.
And then yeah.
Thumbs purple, right?
Mm.
But that's a little off subject, but it's the same subject, because that's part of the strategy of gun violence reduction.
Right.
Ownership eliminates that. So we don't want to reduce it. We want to eradicate it.
Right. I could see that. Yeah. So Aaron, I asked, we had Johnny Nillum in here. And so who is the power brokers for the black community?
We have fragmented solidarity
Which
amongst
means
the black.
what though?
That means it's too many pockets for one person to be the broker. You got a pocket of people doing stuff, and they don't include this portion of the people.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm saying we should include everybody at the family reunion. Even the drunk uncle should have a seat at the table.
Yeah.
But if everybody ain't sitting at the table, then that's the thing that's going to keep us from exercising the true power that we have in the city of Fresno.
So that thinking right here, man. So I'm thinking this right here, by me and you sitting here talking, we having a personal conversation with each other, but it's inclusive of hundreds and thousands of people. We don't really know who's listening to us right now.
Right.
We don't know if the white power brokers, power structures listen to us right now. We don't know if we got some youngsters over there on Sampson and Martin Luther King listening to us right now. We don't know if we got some people on Marks and Shaw, on Fairmont over there listening to us right now. But we know for a fact that we see Tina Greathouse, she's in Texas. She's listening to us. Oswald is in Phoenix, Arizona. He's listening to us. So this right here might be the start of something, man, real powerful, the Thedougbessshow, where we could sit down and talk about things. I remember when we first talked, I said, man, bring some of them youngsters on here. We got all these chairs. We got a bunch of microphones back there in that room. We could put microphones. This whole thing could be a microphone. I ain't got to do nothing but just rearrange these cameras.
I think that's the sustainability again, because people say that these kids are the future, and I say they're the right now. They got
Right
the
now.
most innovative thought process. Like we old, just keep it 1,000. We old. The things that we like is
I
boring.
can still do 50 push-ups right now.
I mean, I could do 50 push-ups that I don't change my age.
Yeah, don't change.
So we got people, man, these young men that are 10 and 11 years old are ready for the world because they've been exposed to so much.
Oh, my God.
So we want them to stay in the kids' place, but it's too late because they already having grown-up conversations. And the problem with that is we don't stay in grown-up space, right? Kid supposed to stay in the kid place. Grown-ups are supposed to protect these children. But now there ain't no secrecy. When you was coming up, I don't know if when your uncles and aunties came over, you had
No,
to go in
no,
the back room.
no. Yeah, you know I came from the South. My mama said, you know, when grown folks talking, get your ass in the back room. And when you was a bunch of us, man,
Right,
it's about 8, 9 of us when my mama whooped everybody in the house.
right.
No, I know exactly what you're talking
Yeah,
about.
so we just had this board game. My son turned 32, and they made the board game up. You had to put some letters on a paper,
Mm-hmm.
and people had to figure out what the letters mean.
Mm-hmm.
And one of them was "get out of my mouth."
Mm-hmm.
Like that's a black thing that you know what that meant.
Mm-hmm.
When your mama get out of my mouth, that
Mhm.
means you looking in my mouth while I'm talking to these people. You ain't even supposed to be in here.
Mm-hmm.
Real
Grown
spill.
folks talking.
Grown folks is talking.
Mm-hmm.
That don't exist. They little kids is answering the question when mama talking.
Because sometimes, man, I didn't been to the point where, you know, I got a lady worked in there named Miss Logan, Renee Logan's daughter. Her name's Muhammad now. Man, sometimes I have to give my phone to her to fix it.
Mm-hmm.
But if the brakes mess up, you got to change the starter. I could fix that because, you know, that's the generation I grew up in. But this young generation, man, with this technology, they light years ahead of me. Aaron, I don't know if you didn't seen a little kid. It could be 2 or 3 years old, and the mama, in order to suppress them, that's not the right word, to get the little kid under control, they got to get that little kid that phone. And the little kid is able to go in the phone, the mama don't have to tell him nothing, and work that phone and find them cartoons on YouTube.
Occupied.
Wow.
I think that we overlooking them because we remind them what they not instead of telling them who they are.
Mm-hmm.
And that's just something that we got to change. And so many small things that we can do. We'll be talking for hours.
Right.
And it'll be so off subject.
We
so,
just chopping it up, man. We
Yeah, we
hoping
chop-
somebody's out there just listening to us, man. We on the Doug Best Show 2 days before Christmas. Mr. Aaron Foster with Advanced Peace. This is the Doug Best Show. We need everybody out there. What I'm going to do, we on live Facebook right now. I'm going to pin it to Facebook. So if anybody ever sees something about Doug Dwayne Best on Facebook, you're going to always see this going over and over. Then I'm going to upload it to YouTube. Go upload it to YouTube. Say, this is beautiful right here, as opposed to being on there where they brainwashing us about Diddy and Jay-Z. That's an illusion. That's just a delusion of inclusion. So they got 12, 13 billionaires. That's all. And they're making us feel like, you know, that they included in anything. They included in just, they sitting over here, but the real power brokers are in a whole nother house somewhere. But what me and you doing right here, man, you seeing 2 strong black men. We seen Joby Jones chime in, says, my God. We see Miss Tina Greathouse. We see all the different other people that's chiming in. We just talking, man. This is what we supposed to be talking about, something positive.
And the lived experiences that's attached, that turn into positivity too.
Mm-hmm.
You know, without your lived experience, we wouldn't have you sitting here either.
Right, absolutely. I told you earlier about how me going to prison all them years, I found my gifts. But you know, when Mike was here, Mike Hughes the other day, I was saying, man, I was locked in solitary confinement. I was talking to Jesus, I was talking to somebody, but I made it out. So I had to be talking to God. And we here talking, and I think you agree with this wholeheartedly too, Aaron. And all our yesterdays made us who we are today.
Absolutely. And that touchy subject about the higher power, what we talked about earlier, I
don't really think it's no touchy subject. Mike Hughes said the other day, man, we ain't making no excuses when I told him, man, this prayer's out. Yeah, I mean, I don't have no inhibitions about it.
No, I ain't ashamed at all. I'm just trying to be politically correct. I believe in God. That's just period.
Yeah.
But I believe in a bigger God than what I was taught to believe in. Again, we talked about God being
universal
and people make him earthly. So my belief system says that he's bigger than earth. He's the creator of all things. So if I made him bigger than the universe, then I can expect for me to be bigger than earth.
Right.
Right, and my accomplishments to be as such. So when we started talking strangely, when I said that I believe that I'm a spirit having a human experience,
right,
it's rough. This human experience is challenging, but those are only problems. God that I believe in has all the solutions. So
right.
I look to him for them, and here we are.
Right. Man, I'm loving that you came here, man. We've been talking. We're gonna tie it up. So, Aaron, so if you could put everything, in a nutshell. First, Joby, want to shout out to you, man, for again giving Aaron the blessings to get going. And Councilman Oliver Baines, we want to give shout outs to you. Aaron enlightened me in ways that I never even knew. You see, because Baines is really like a behind the scenes kind of guy, it seems like.
Absolutely, man. Got his hand in so many successes.
Oh my God, man. Where you at, Baines? You
So
supposed to be
many
sitting right here in
successes.
that blue seat on the Thedougbessshow, man.
But he's humble. He's a very humble man, and he only gonna give you nuggets. And people frown on that too, but without Chief Dyer, this program wouldn't exist too. So law enforcement have their position over there, man, and the balance is there. But we here.
Yeah. Then the Honorable Jerry Dyer, I went out to his church, man, my center reach. We went sit out there with him, talked to him, and I could see the reluctance of him being a politician, to come here. But, he was gracious. I never had a problem with him, I never had a problem with him. He's the mayor now. And I don't know, man. I think that, everything happens for a reason. And me and you sitting here talking, they might be sitting and listening to us right now, not saying nothing.
Yeah.
We never know. That's the power. That's the power of the social media. The social media makes it where we never know, man. It could be somebody in Washington, D.C. right now. Right now, Aaron, watching us. And they saying, what is that advanced peace? Who is that guy, Aaron Foster? Who is that guy, Doug, on the Thedougbessshow? We never know, man.
Advanced Peace is amazing for me, but the author of it is a genius, man. If you ever could get anybody, Devon Bogan has.
Where he at?
He's in Richmond. He's national now. It started in Richmond, man, but Advanced Peace is all over the country. It's as far as New York and cities in between. So I know for sure that the cities that exercise this strategy have a decrease in gun violence within the first year.
Right.
That's amazing.
Right.
Yeah, so it's the strategy that myself, Rod, and the Advanced Peace team put together. And that's the thing. When you put a good team together,
right,
you have great results. I want to shout out Joseph McCoy. Joseph McCoy came a long way, too. He's going to be a leader as well.
I know Joseph.
Joseph's going to be a leader, man. Joseph got passion, and that's what it takes.
Right.
He got every bit of it. Now all he has to do is just develop into the person that God made him to be on purpose. So once he understand what his purpose is, he gonna shake up the building.
Right.
Because it's either black or white. It ain't no gray area with him.
Right. Yeah. So as we close, I just want to ask you just two quick questions. Okay. So Aaron, this Aaron Foster from Advanced Peace Organization here in the city of Fresno, trying to decrease, eliminate the gang violence, the guns. So if a situation happened, if it was a shooting right outside, what's the dynamics? How would they get in touch with your organization? Would they wait till the next day, or would they call you that night? How would it work?
So that's the thing. We boots on the ground. It's our relationships. So somebody gonna call us that already know what we do. We're not relying on a dispatch to send us out.
Okay.
Just the community gonna call.
That's
hey,
what
man,
you mean about being outside.
Outside, yes, sir.
Okay.
Hey, man, they just shot such and such. The beauty of it is they trust us enough to tell us who actually did it.
Right.
So we gonna go and get at them. Like, hey, man, we know this. Because showing up to the scene, that's for the family. So we got some people that's gonna give them all the resources that need it. But reducing the gun violence,
right,
that's for the individual who may commit the gun violence.
Right.
Those are the people who we're going to talk to.
Right.
The people that's going to run that back. Like, hey, man, it's hot right now. We need to cool you off. Get them away from that situation and give them some alternatives. Some things you just can't stop. Now, we ain't the people that's going to stand in front of the gun. Don't do it. Like, no. Hey, man, this is what can happen. This may happen, such and such.
Right.
But it's up to the individual. We don't make nobody do nothing. Right. We the voice of reason.
Right. Okay.
In most instances.
Right.
But sometimes people are so passionate about their loved ones that all you can do is give them that love, try to understand what they're going through, but sometimes you got to get out of the way. Sometimes getting out of the way, what you just told them follows them.
Right.
So en route, they may make a U-turn to go the other way.
I think Mike Hughes described it the other night when he says you plant the seed.
That's it.
Yeah. So, Aaron, so has that ever been one of them situations that's kind of touchy subject? As the police ever says, man, I know you know Doug Best did it. Did he do it? That ever happened?
Absolutely, all the time.
So,
hey, man.
So sometimes, man, do you
you
didn't have to check somebody?
No, I'm politically correct. They would say
diplomatically, yeah.
Is it safe to say that Doug Best did it? It's safe to say anything. This is a free country. You can say whatever you want to.
Right.
But affirmation, confirmation for me, I don't know who did anything. I was at home.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know. But I only deal with people who don't approach me that way. Again, when I say challenge my integrity, I only deal with people who don't challenge my integrity.
Right.
When it comes to law enforcement.
Right.
People that see me as a compliment, because we got the same agenda. Everybody want to save lives. They have their strategy. I have my strategy. I don't ask them to implement my strategy when they on the ground, and I respect the fact that they don't ask me to help them implement their strategy.
Right.
They get paid millions of dollars.
Right.
And it's somebody gonna tell. It just ain't gonna be me.
Right. Yeah. So Aaron, I see my main man, Floyd Harris Jr. You see him on there. Mm-hmm. You guys, do y'all interact with the different churches?
Floyd can call me anytime he gets ready, and he know that I'm gonna show up. That's my thing, to be available, because I don't want to be the person that's exercising that fragmented solidarity.
Right.
Any place that I can make a difference, I'll show up.
Yeah,
but I'm not
love
showing
you for
up
being
just to
here,
stand
man.
there.
Yeah. We chopping it up, man. We didn't went long. We was gonna talk 30 minutes. It always go long. I'm happy that you came here, man. I hope that we done made an impact. And what's gonna happen right here, we gonna pin it to the Facebook. I'm a marketer. Believe me that the word is gonna get out. And then hopefully my son will take it up and slice it and dice it where you're gonna be some little segments they call shorts. And he just put it out. Man, I'm happy you came, man.
I appreciate the invite. I appreciate the person that you developed into again.
And then it's like with me, man, it's like work in progress right here. So I don't want nobody to see me on this thing right here and they be thinking that, man, when you seeing me, it's what I'm gonna tell the truth. And sometimes the truth ain't what people think. The truth will set you free. Sometimes the truth will make people hate you too.
Well, me, with that being said, I'd rather be hated for telling the truth than loved for telling a lie.
Yeah. So that's what I learned from being in prison. Sometimes the truth is, when I was away, I just didn't get involved. Period. Because I ain't gonna try to be sometimes. And then I know sometimes in situations here, sometimes do you have to just say, man, we ain't gonna get involved?
No, we can't do that.
That's not an option.
No, that's just, you're not living up to your purpose.
Right.
We got to at least try. Now, if we not succeeded, we don't succeed, at least we try.
Okay, I could see that.
I mean, that's where that passion come through. If we just sit back and don't do nothing and somebody end up on the ground, I'm like, why do we even do the work? Let's shut the door. If we ain't going to try to make a difference in every space that we can make a difference in, and when it comes to saving a life, then let's just shut the door, man.
Right.
Yeah, we don't even have to act like we're going to do this work. If you don't really want to make a difference, then do something else. Rod say that all the time. Y'all don't got to be here. He go on one. If you don't want to do the work, do something else.
Right. But he like that on the football field, on the basketball court. That's who he is, man.
Yeah, he pushed the line.
That's who he really is. But you know already.
Yes, sir. I appreciate him a lot.
Yeah. Guys out there, I'm with my main man, Aaron Foster from Advance the Peace. And everybody out there, I hope we done made some kind of impact in your mind and in your hearts and your mind. And then, Aaron, just in closing, man, do you want to, this your camera right here. I'm finna put it on you. That's you right there, man. Just talk to the people as we leave.
I'm just happy to be here, man. Happy to have this opportunity. Advance Peace has a lot of resources. We housed at ELC. If there's anything that we can do to help you, there's a bunch of resources. They got food insecurities, job training, counseling. Counseling is big. I encourage everybody to understand who you are through counseling. And that's pretty much it. As far as what may erupt on the ground, nobody can predict that. So we have that laying already. We're doing the best we can when it comes to that. But as far as extending our hand to these resources, hit us up. If we can help, we will.
Okay, thanks. Thanks, guys. You know, I'm Doug Best. We're on the Doug Best Show, and I wish everybody a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year's and a Happy Holidays. And everybody just be out there trying to be safe. And we brought Aaron here, and just telling that, you know, the world is real. The world is real, and we got to help each other. I ain't saying be a fool and go out there and run in front of a gun and get killed, but sometimes it could be just one word that could change the whole dynamics of everything. I think that's what he's saying right there. We all do our part, and this whole city will be better. And then Joby Jones, we thank you for planting the seed with Aaron and Councilor Baines and the Honorable Mayor Jerry Dyer and the police department, everybody that's involved. Rod Ray, we know we got to give you a big shout out, man. And my main man, Mike Hughes. Thanks, guys. And Aaron, I really, really appreciate it, man. This powerful, man.
Yes, sir.
Okay, guys, we'll see you soon. Happy holidays. I'm finna go eat some sweet potato pie, baby.
Yes, sir.
Thanks, guys. And then we got to cut him off here.